Hey, welcome to Archery Universe, and today we've got our first bow review. You know, when we started the channel out, one of our goals was we wanted to do product reviews and bring some products to you that were really good values or good products or that filled maybe a certain niche. And so that's what we've got today. And I want to talk to you a little bit about why I agreed to do a product review on this particular bow. So in interest of complete disclosure, they sent this bow to me at no charge to do a review on. And with that said, they want an honest review, and that's what when I agreed to have them send me the bow, it was with the understanding that I was going to give an honest opinion of the bow. So now I want to tell you why I agreed to it. So what we have is a Sanlida Archery Dragon X8. And the reason I agreed to have them send me this bow was some of the other reviews I've seen and a few people I've known of shooting the bow. It actually is a very fairly priced bow, and it fits a niche for entry-level bows that is really hard to come by. Now the price may vary at different times, but today if you were to go buy this product, it would cost you $269 shipped to your door. And I have not seen the bow yet, so we're gonna see it together here shortly. We're gonna do a box opening, my first video like that we're doing an open box review. So I've not seen it at all. If we open it up and it's junk, we're gonna learn that together. If we open it up and it's awesome, we're gonna learn that together. So with that said, let's get to the fun part. Let's open this thing up, see what it looks like. We're gonna put it together, go over everything that's in the box with it, and then in the next video we're gonna show you how to tune it and adjust draw length and that kind of thing. Alright, so the first thing we see is it does come with the case. Let's see how it looks. Just a little soft case. It is padded. Let's see what we got here. Alright, so just a soft padded case, fairly thin padded. It does have some Velcro straps inside to strap your bow down, and a divider so that you can put so you put your bow in this side, maybe a pocket for your hunting license, and then you can put your accessories, stabilizer and stuff on this side, and the padding in the center, keep them separate. So obviously not a high dollar case, but it is included with the package. Alright, so there she is. And so that is the Dragon X8, obviously the camo model. They do also have it in black. So we've got an instruction book here, an owner's manual. So we'll get around to that. Here is a link to their website to give your feedback. Alright, so we've got well, a product specification. And so you can see that. If you can read Chinese, you're welcome to read it. I can't. So with that said, that's a good time to mention that this bow is from China. They do, however, have a warehouse in the US. And so from the time they called me to the time I got this bow was only about 5 days. So pretty impressive with today's standards. I mean, it is from China, but they have a warehouse in California. Obviously shipped pretty fast. And that's how they're able to sell you this bow and then ship it, you know, with shipping included, because they're having a warehouse inside the U.S. shipping to you. So first of all, first thing I pulled out is a brush style arrow rest. We're going to set this stuff down here as we go. There is a caliper style release aid. It does have a spring to spring it open, spring it closed. So again, for a beginner style archery, included in the bow, not too bad. A rubber stabilizer. Again, we're just going down the case here. an arrow puller, a quiver that is looks to be quick detach. Yeah, so here's your quiver mount, quick detach, twist on locks. It is set up for expandable broadheads with 2 arrow holders, and it has foam in the top. So decent quiver considering it comes with a bow. Fiber optic sight, 5 pin. Let's see. Well, and so the light doesn't work on this first one, so maybe let's take it apart and see if there's a spacer in there to keep it from. Nope, I don't see anything inside there, so we'll try it one more time. So there you go, it's tight down. The light does not work. However, if that's the only problem, not really a big deal, but the light doesn't work. So it is a fixed pin sight, nice orange ring, 5 pins, green and red. It would be nice if the light works. I'm guessing they probably would replace batteries. You could buy batteries for a few dollars probably at a local drugstore. But with that said, again, for a beginner sight, not too bad. Here is a box or a little pack of screws, Allen wrenches. Alright, so here you have the bow. It is a fairly good finish, and honestly better than I expected. It's a pretty good film dip. You don't see a lot of voids or air bubbles in the film dip. So the finish is pretty good. It does come complete with a string loop and peep sight installed in it. Basically ready for you to bolt your accessories on and shoot it. So we're going to get that done, and then we're going to shoot it for the first time tonight. So this bow is a 30-inch axle to axle. It has a 6 5/8 roughly brace height. They say it's 18 to 31 inch draw length. I've not measured draw length yet, but that's what their specs say. They also say that it will go from 0 to 70 pounds. Now obviously you can't go to 0, but what it does tell me is that we might could get it down to 15 or 20 pounds and make that really great for a young lady or young man just getting into shooting. And that's really the niche that I think this bow fits in. So many times I have a parent come to me and they have a teenager that wants to shoot archery, but they don't have $700 or $600 to invest in it. And so this might be a way for somebody to spend $300 at $269 delivered to your door, and get a young man or young lady into shooting archery and shoot for a few years and then upgrade if they need to, or if it suits what they need, they might shoot for longer than that. So let's put it together and see how it works. Alright, so let's pull these things apart and see if we can't get ready to put this bow together. Let's get an arrow flying out of it tonight. And in the next video, we'll do some tuning and go over setting the draw length. So it does come with the sight bolts already in the riser and the arrow rest bolt already in the riser. So first thing we're going to do is pull those out. Now I have no idea where the center shot and stuff is set on this yet. But we're going to go over that stuff as we go here. So we're just going to stick it on the bow. We'll run that down. Snug it up. Alright. Same thing with the sight. Take the 2 bolts that were in the riser. Now my personal preference, I'm always going to put it in the furthest holes out. And again, we're just going to snug those down. So there we've got the arrow rest and the sight on it. So we're going to stick the stabilizer on now. The stabilizer goes right in the front of the riser here. I'll go through the hole here. So when you tighten it's just going to twist that. So if you'll twist this strap around this way, that'll let you, as you tighten it, turn the strap on around square. Now we're going to run the buckle around this way. The strap come through the buckle like this. Now we're going to put our hand in there, and you really want, this is important, you want that strap loose. And I like to have 2 fingers under there as a measurement. Stand 2 fingers up like that, keeps that loose. Any tighter and you'll find that it can torque the riser when you shoot, and it'll actually affect your accuracy. So once you got that set, we'll take the tag end here, fold it back over under there, and that way it can't pull loose, just like that. So you've basically set your bow up now. You've got your rest, your sight, stabilizer, and sling on there. We're going to mount the quiver. Now, we're going to use the long screws that came in the pack with your Allen wrenches. And we're going to put it in this hole on the back of the sight. So we're going to run those down. And we're going to snug those up. Now, this is a plastic bracket, injection molded, so we don't want to over tighten that and break the bracket. So we just want to get it so it's tight and give it a little snug, and there you go. So we're going to put the quiver on to show you how it fits, but then we're going to take it back off for tuning. So it slides in the bottom bracket. From that side you'll be able to see. Twist your quiver, it slides in the bottom slot. Turn it in, locks it in. Pretty decent little quiver. So it comes off easy when you're in your tree stand. Got a little hook on the top, you can hang it up the side of the tree. Works really good. You're going to find that your bow will bounce much better without the quiver. So decent little quiver for what it is. Alright, so we've got our accessories mounted. Now I've got my bow in a vise, but you don't have to have a vise to set this up. So we're going to start with, we're going to check the center shot on our arrow. And center shot is a term we use in archery, but it doesn't mean the arrow runs through the center of the bow. What we really want is for it to run parallel through the riser or handle section of the bow as it leaves. And that's going to help it fly straight. So for me, I've checked this, and what I know is it needs to be 13/16 from the riser to the center of the shaft. And so you can take any regular tape measure and come from the inside edge of the riser, measure to the center of the shaft, and we're at 13/16. Alright, so that's easy enough. You can do that with any tape measure, any ruler, come from the inside of the riser to the center of the shaft, 13/16, you'll be good to go. Great starting point anyway. Now, the knock or loop height is, I'm going to give you an even easier way. There's plenty of ways. I mean, I have levels, and we can put a level on here, and I can level it up for you. But I want to give you some ways you can do this at home. And so if you notice, there are 2 arrow rest mounting holes behind this arrow, or what we would call plunger holes. And so they're both here and here. Now what we can do is we can back up and look even with the top of the arrow, and is it parallel with those holes? We want that arrow coming out square, so if we look at those holes, is that arrow square? So if I look at the holes, we're actually running fairly level right there, maybe just a little bit knock high. So this arrow rest actually has an adjustment. You have an Allen wrench in your pack. And so if you come inside the hole on this edge of the rest, there's a bolt there. You can loosen it, and this arrow rest will slide up and down. So we're going to bring it up just a little, because that knock was just a little bit high. And then we're going to turn around and check it again. And if I look at the holes, I actually can see them under the bottom of the shaft from this angle. And that looks just about perfect right there. So I'm going to verify our knock with a level, and you could go online, you could buy some of these levels so that you could get it exact if you wanted. Just want to show you just by eyeballing there. And so you can see that that level basically is dead center, and you watched me adjust it just by eyeballing the plunger holes. So pretty simple method. 13/16 center of the shaft. Line up the top of the shaft or bottom of the shaft with the holes so that they're level front and back, just parallel through the riser. Just an easy starting place. You'll find that most bows are going to shoot just fine like that. Alright, so we're going to pull those off there. Now, I have not drawn this bow at all yet, so we're actually going to check the arrow weight or the draw weight. And so I've got a scale here, just the way it come out of the pack. And we're going to do it with an arrow in it just for safety reasons. Alright, so let's see here. We're zeroed. I'm going to draw it back pointed toward the target. I'm going to say it's fairly lightweight. Actually has a better wall than I expected. Alright, so that is 35.96 pounds. So 35 pounds right out of the box. Now I have no idea is that how they ship every one of them or not, but I would say they're going to ship most of them backed out like that. Alright, so I tell you what, we got everything stuck on it there. Let's shoot the first arrow out of it. So we're going to buckle like this. It'll come over the top. This will run around, come through the little buckle, and then back. Just like that. Now I can tell you, that's going to be way long even for me. You really want this thing to be tucked down in the middle of your hand there so that when you draw back, it'll pull out on your fingers. So we're not even going to waste our time trying to shoot it that way. We're just going to go ahead and shorten it up some. Now I would say once you get that fitted to your hand where you want it, you could trim that excess off and melt the end of that strap so it wouldn't unravel, and just kind of get it out of your way. But so again, we go across the top, go through that buckle, pull it back, and that Velcro will hold. Alright, so let's shoot this thing for the first time. Just going to clip on the loop. Not bad. Actually, a little smoother than I expected, and not a whole lot of noise. Most of that noise came from the target, so let's shoot it again. Yeah, not bad at all. I'm actually impressed with that. So these arrows are a really light spine. I'm going to guess they are a 600 spine just by how easy they flex. So really not going to handle a whole lot more weight than what we have on it there. Now let's go over a couple of things real quick. You know, like I said, the only reason I agreed to test this bow was because of the value it seems to be. At the price they have them right now, $269, you can buy this bow with everything you see here. You get the bow, you get a fiber optic 5-pin sight, you get a quick detach quiver, you get a rubber stabilizer, a bowsling, a whisker type rest, a caliper style release, an arrow puller, a bow stand, here's your quiver again, and you get a dozen arrows. Now I'm going to be the first to say these dozen arrows are cheap arrows. They are nothing but something for someone to get started with, and they're probably only good for about 40 pounds. So if you're going to shoot more than 40 pounds, you just go ahead and plan on needing more arrows. But for you, like I mentioned earlier, for the 10 or 12-year-old young lady or young man that wants to get into archery, this is everything they would need to start shooting a bow. And frankly, they're probably only going to shoot 20 pounds or so to start with. So you let them shoot this dozen arrows that comes with it. They shoot those, they wear them out, they lose them, they break them, whatever seems to happen when you first start shooting a bow. And then it's time to move on. And as they grow, you can of course get them more arrows, but that does get you started. So overall, first impressions, I would say it's worth the $269. Now I'm going to, in the next video, we'll go over how to adjust the draw length, how to tune the bow, and we'll paper tune the bow, make sure how it shoots, more in depth of what we think about the bow. So with that said, I want to bring something up, and that's if you've never worked on a bow or never tuned a bow at all, like this bow is really geared toward, the people it's geared toward, is I would recommend find a local pro shop. Go down to your local pro shop, pay them to set this bow up and tune it for you. I don't know what they're going to charge you, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's at least $50 or $60 to have them set up the bow and tune it for you. What you're going to get that way is you're going to get the bow set up right off the bat. You're going to get everything the way it needs to be, and you're going to have a much better experience getting started shooting. Really help you to have a lifelong adventure shooting a bow. Now, down below, you'll find a link to these bows, and that link is an affiliate link. I'll go ahead and tell you. The bow doesn't cost you any more if you buy it through that link or without the link. The only difference is I make a few dollars, and you'll help support the channel and help me do more of these in the future. God bless, shoot straight, and we'll see you next time.